We've all heard of someone participating in the NFL Combine who has bombed in one way or another at the event, but probably not to the extent of Jachai Polite. Things couldn't have possibly gone any worse if he had purposely sabotaged himself. Because of this, his draft stock has taken a dramatic nosedive, so much so he could fall right into the lap of the Dallas Cowboys in the second round. Think of all of the possible ways you could bomb at the Combine, and Polite probably did it. Team interviews, check. Media session at the podium, check. Bombing the workouts, check. Showing up unprepared and out of shape, check and check. The interview process with NFL teams is where things first started to go badly for Polite. He specifically called out several teams for grilling and bashing him over just his bad plays. Surprisingly enough, this is not uncommon and he should have been better prepared to handle such scrutiny. Having a bad interview isn't the end of the world, but it definitely can impact the way a team can think about a certain prospect. This is where several teams started considering taking Polite off their draft board altogether. But it was his on-the-field work that may have been the last straw. Polite was supposed to be a speed rusher, but his 4.81 40-yard dash and 1.71 10-yard split suggests otherwise. He must have been really displeased with this time as well, because he pulled himself out of the rest of the events due to a hamstring injury, which many scouts on hand claimed was fake and complete bullshit. Florida to Jachai Polite. Jachai Polite definitely didn't leave any stone unturned while doing his best to tank his draft stock. He was once considered a consensus top 15 draft pick, now he may slide out of the first round altogether. For Dallas Cowboys fans, this may sound somewhat similar to what happened to Randy Gregory back in 2015. Of course, his draft stock took a hit for an entirely different reason. He was bombed at the Combine, testing positive for an illegal substance, more than likely marijuana. He too was a consensus top 15 pick but slid all the way to the Cowboys in the second round where they drafted him 60th overall. It's definitely feasible to think Jachai Polite could still be on the board when the Cowboys are on the clock at 58th overall in the second round. The question is, would they pull the trigger on yet another troubled pass rusher like they did with Gregory? Unfortunately, there's no easy way to answer this. The Cowboys do need depth at defensive end, but Polite doesn't exactly measure up to what they typically look for at the position. At 6 feet 3 inches, 258 pounds with 32 5/8 arms, he is a little undersized for Dallas. They generally prefer taller and lengthier day, but there's always the exception if they're talented enough. There's no denying Polite is talented, but he's still very much a work in progress. This is one of those risk-reward situations the Dallas Cowboys would have to weigh very carefully. They have a history of pulling the trigger on such players, but this is a team on the verge of greatness and may prefer someone who can be relied upon more. What do you think? Would you take a chance on drafting Jachai Polite? Having only one pick in the first 2 rounds, and none within the top 50, the Dallas Cowboys would be best served to just sit and pick during the 2019 NFL Draft. If anything, they should likely look to move back in the draft to acquire some more draft capital. Right? Well, this is an interesting offseason for the Dallas Cowboys. Not only is their head coach on a one-year deal of sorts and coming off a season in which his seat reached the highest temperatures it's ever seen, but Stephen Jones has repeatedly preached the importance to take the next step. No more will it be accepted to just get to the postseason and lose in the divisional round. At least that's what they seem to be saying. So, it's fair to say it is time for the Cowboys to go all in on this championship window with their elite defensive players, for the most part, on team-friendly deals. All in after already dealing their 2019 first-round pick for wide receiver Amari Cooper. All in to take the next step. What better way to go all in than to add an elite defensive player to your roster? One who fits exactly what the defense needs in an interior pass rusher and run stuffer. An athletic 3 technique with Aaron Donald-like flashes on his college tape and elite traits which project greatness. That player, if you haven't yet guessed, is Houston defensive lineman Ed Oliver. Despite his elite traits and abilities, Ed Oliver is expected to fall in the draft and be taken in the 10 to 15 range. The most popular landing spot for Oliver according to mock drafts. The Atlanta Falcons 14th overall. With their first-round pick next year and a package of some other selections in this year's draft, the Cowboys would likely have the ammo to move up to 12th or 13th overall to steal Oliver from the Falcons. The owners of those picks are the Green Bay Packers and Miami Dolphins, each in need of adding talent throughout their entire roster. The Packers, who select 12th overall, also have the 30th pick in the first round of the same draft. This could make it more palatable to move their 12th pick to Dallas, especially if they are getting an extra first next year and an extra second-rounder in 2019 as well. Let's be honest, this is all very unlikely to happen. The Cowboys are unlikely to move up. A team like the Dolphins, who are probably targeting a quarterback, are unlikely to move back. And did I mention the Cowboys never like to trade up? Ed Oliver is the type of player that will make you leverage your future drafts for, though. An off-season that contains re-signing DeMarcus Lawrence and trading up for Ed Oliver is a damn good off-season. And one that puts the Cowboys in a really nice spot to take the next step. A pass rush package with those two together on the field would be unbelievable to see. And while some have concerns about Ed Oliver's size holding up against the run in the NFL, his ability to play with leverage and penetrate gaps alleviate all my potential concerns. And after all, if you add Ed Oliver to his already talented defense, your first-round pick next year won't be in the top 20 anyway. Name: Penny Hart. Position: wide receiver. School: Georgia State. Conference: Sun Belt. Class: RS Junior Jersey. No. 18 recruitment rating, 2-star HT, 5 feet 8 inches WT, 180 DOB, the 5th of July 1996. Highlights: follow JBP on IG, https://www.instagram.com/justbombsproduction/ click show more. Follow me on Twitter, https://twitter.com/ScottTakeAid. Follow me on Instagram, https://www.instagram.com/ScottTakeAid/ follow JBP on Twitter, https://twitter.com/JBP_official at JBP on Facebook, https://www.facebook.com/just-bombs-productions-255863801590167/ Georgia State WR Penny Hart 2017 highlights. Junior 5, 8,180 pounds. Georgia State WR Penny Hart is a dynamic playmaker. Pros: Penny Hart has shown the ability to play both out of the slot or on the outside, but will likely find most of his success in the NFL as a slot receiver. Despite being a small school prospect, he is surprisingly well developed as a route runner and understands how to temper his routes to create space and separation. This is a testament to his football IQ and work ethic. Hart's calling card is a short area quickness. He shows quick feet on film. It helps him quickly get off the line of scrimmage and also helps him when getting in and out of his breaks as a route runner. He accelerates and decelerates with ease, showing plus burst, and easily changes directions at the drop of a dime. Looks natural catching the ball on film and shows the ability to extend to make catches thrown outside his frame. Rarely drops passes. Is a threat after the catch. He is slippery once he gets in the open field and has a little fight to him when he faces contact. Used as a gadget player on jet sweeps, reverses, and end arounds. Also has special teams experience as both a punt and kick returner. Cons: the biggest negative about Penny Hart is obviously his size. It will likely limit him to strictly playing out of the slot in the NFL, although he did show the ability to be a vertical threat at Georgia State, averaging 14.6 yards per reception. There are also concerns about his durability and the level of competition he played against in college. Hart doesn't show a lot of functional strength on film. This will hurt him against press coverage in the NFL and as a blocker in the passing game. He shows the willingness as the blocker, but gets overpowered by bigger defensive backs. Frame might already be maxed out. His lack of size also comes into play as a pass catcher. He shows the ability to contort his body to catch passes thrown outside his frame, but he doesn't have a very large catch radius. Struggles in contested catch situations as well. Much better catching the ball over his shoulder as a down-the-field receiver than he is when he's square to the ball. Cowboys fit with the Dallas Cowboys. Penny Hart would more than likely step in and become Cole Beasley's replacement in the slot. He may not be as good as a route runner as Beasley is at this stage in his career, but his change of direction ability and speed should make him an immediate contributor as a rookie. Hart should also figure into the Cowboys' return game as well. He has experience as both a punt and kick returner, and should be in the mix to become their return specialist. Offensively, he can be used in a variety of different ways. He's shown the ability to play either on the inside or outside in the passing game and can be used on gadget plays such as jet sweeps, reverses, and end-arounds. Overall, there is a lot to like about Penny Hart and the variety of ways he can help the Cowboys. He would have some large shoes to fill, but he has the kind of skill set and game-breaking ability that could endear him to fans immediately. He is projected to be a day 3 pick, and I think he would be an absolute steal at that point in the draft for the Cowboys. Not everybody can be winners at the NFL Combine. Sometimes the big stage and the pressure of the event gets to these players, and they just have a bad outing. That doesn't mean they don't have a future in the NFL or that their careers are over, but it could end up benefiting teams like the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are known as a team who are willing to take a chance on players who have seen their draft stock take a hit for some reason or another. They'll take a chance on talent regardless of background if they believe that particular player can help their team. That's why today I decided to put together a list of some of the losers from this year's NFL Combine. Let's take a look. Defensive candidates: Florida Jachai Polite, Joejuan Williams, CB, Vanderbilt. Entering the NFL Combine, Joejuan Williams was one of the hotter names in this year's cornerback draft class. Teams were intrigued with his size, 6 feet 4 inches, 211, but had questions about his athletic ability and the technical issues he showed on tape. Unfortunately for him, his performance didn't do him any favors, particularly his 4.64 40-yard dash. It's not a terrible time for a CB his size, but not great either. This of course could be good news for the Dallas Cowboys because we all know Chris Richard loves those tall lengthy corners. Jachai Polite, Florida. I don't know if I've ever heard of a player's NFL Combine going any worse than what Jachai Polite did. There are multiple reports that he was terrible in interviews, and a lot of the scouts on hand said his decision to pull himself out of several events due to a hamstring injury he faked was bullshit. He was supposed to be one of the more explosive edge rushers in this draft class, but his 4.84 40-yard dash and 1.71 10-yard split suggests otherwise. His draft stock is supposedly tumbling, and several teams have reportedly taken him off their board altogether. If he were to fall all the way to the Dallas Cowboys in the second round, he'd be hard to pass up. Dre'Mont Jones, DT, Ohio State. How Dre'Mont Jones performed at the NFL Combine was supposed to solidify him as one of the better undersized defensive tackles in the 2019 draft class. Unfortunately for him, all it did was raise more concerns about his past play and his future in the league. At 281 pounds, Jones' game is supposed to be predicated on his quickness. The numbers he put up in the different events were surprisingly pretty pedestrian, which will probably cause him to slip in the draft. This could be good news for the Dallas Cowboys, who need help at the 3 technique. Now they may be able to get him a few rounds later instead of in the second round where he was projected. Offensive candidates: Georgia, RB, Elijah Holyfield, RB, Georgia. No one expected Elijah Holyfield to blow people away with his speed at the NFL Combine, but no one really expected him to run an embarrassing 4.78 40-yard dash either. To make matters worse, his 30 inches vertical jump and 9 feet 6 inches broad jump were pretty pedestrian for a running back as well. The numbers are concerning in more ways than one considering how good his tape is, but it could help him slide right into the Dallas Cowboys' lap in the mid-round range. He has a chance to redeem himself at his pro day, but for now his poor performance at the Combine could make him an intriguing option as Zeke's backup. Riley Ridley, WR, Georgia. The bad luck for Georgia players continued with Riley Ridley in the way he performed at the NFL Combine. Unfortunately for him, he tested like an average to below average athlete in nearly all of the events, but it was his embarrassing 4.58 40-yard dash that raised eyebrows. He is still likely a day 2 prospect, but he wasn't supposed to be on the board for the Dallas Cowboys at 58 before the Combine. The Cowboys could be in the market for a receiver that can play both in the slot and on the outside, and Ridley is someone capable of doing just that. Isaac Nauta, Georgia. I promise you I'm not picking on Georgia players purposely, but it seems like nearly all of their skill players had a poor performance at the NFL Combine. Isaac Nauta was supposed to be in that next tier of tight end prospects behind Noah Fant, J. Hawkinson, and Irv Smith, but with the way he tested it could cause him to slide a little further. There were no questions about his ability as a blocker translating into the NFL, but there were concerns about his athleticism and pass-catching ability. His 4.91 40-yard dash was a huge fail, and unfortunately he finished as one of the worst tape performers in the other events as well. If the Cowboys still like him though, they could get him at a discounted price.